On our initial departure from the U.S. to Guatemala, our class was somewhat prepared. We had read the texts, we had seen pictures, but I believe that in order to really understand a specific culture and way of life, it is important to experience and see that culture firsthand, and that was what was in store for us when we arrived January 2nd in Guatemala. Guatemala is a country with a rich and deep-set cultural background. With the majority of the world's Mayan population residing in Guatemala, the country has been described as a multi-ethnic, pluricultural, and multilingual society. Among the Maya, there are 21 different ethnic groups, which recognize themselves both as Mayan and Guatemalan. Although the Mayan are the majority, the Ladino population continues to overpower the country. It is amazing to see that through all the population hardships the Mayan indigenous people have faced, there still exists a strong acceptance in ancient and cultural roots with their indigenous way of life, which have persevered for over hundreds of years. One word that I would use to describe the Guatemalan people and culture would be strong. Guatemala is a country that has faced many times of change, but has continued to push through the hardship, especially in the case of the indigenous women, because there still exists a large discrepancy and unequal balance between men and women in society. The women we met at the women's co-op when we visited weaved intricate textiles in traditional Mayan form for about 8 hours a day to help benefit and provide better education for their children. Then they cook, clean, and take care of their families, just to do it all over again the next day, without a complaint. They authentically weave and do not whine over hurting joints or an aching back. They enjoy what they do, and they do it for a cause. Family is the essential and strongholding foundation in Mayan culture. Unlike in the United States individualistic society, where the immediate family will live together for a time and then the family members will move off to pursue and create their own life, Mayan society is collectivist in nature, and people work and live together for a common goal. Whether it is the immediate family, the extended family, or just the community family at large, the Mayan people hold strong to these ties that bond them together and help them through the good and bad times. While in the coffee finca Philadelphia in Antigua, we saw many people, young and old, working to pick and sort the coffee beans. Shocking at first was the sight of seeing numerous children working on the finca alongside their parents, helping to complete the day's work. This can be a hard concept for many to understand, yet this work ethic has been instilled in these children for a long time and is a part of their daily lives. Mayan families do not stand to leave their children alone with a stranger while they go to work for the day. Families remain together. From the day the children are born, a mother carries the child around on her side or back, no matter what the task they are doing is. These family ties hold strong and relate over to their work ethic and belief that they are doing it to support one another as a family. Many people will be shocked to witness such young kids working. From what I encountered and witnessed during my time in Guatemala, was that people do not necessarily call it work. It is more their way of life, and it is woven throughout everything they do. Tending to the fields puts food on the table, and drying corn is a part of their culture. While at the coffee finca, I witnessed a young girl holding a machete that was about half of her size. In the United States, people will be appalled to see a child even being allowed to touch something deemed as a weapon. Yet here it is merely a tool used to get a job done and then move on with no malicious intent. The vibrancy, love, and commitment the Mayan people have to their families and culture was evident throughout so many of the things that they did. Just the willingness to let us in and share their lives with us, in addition to their eagerness to learn and grow from us, was a wonderful feeling. Coweta is an extremely close-knit community, and the people are very open and content with their lives. When the women came together to learn how to make more nutritional tamales, they were all required to bring some sort of vegetable or meat to add to the pot. Everyone contributed without a thought and spent their time listening, laughing, and having fun with one another. It is refreshing to see that when they are doing something, they are living completely in the moment, not thinking about the worries of tomorrow's presentation, or what they are wearing, or what's on today's magazine cover, but completely present. Coweta's community goal effort is best represented in the work and progress seen in the Casa Materna Cure Americas has helped them to build. The entire community, as well as the surrounding townships, has seemed to band together to make the maternity house and health community center a reality. Through the help of Cure Americas and the dedication of the people, the maternity ward serves as a place for the women to go to receive care and prenatal education, as well as a place where the women and children go to receive medical checkups. In our time in Coweta, the men of the town took turns voluntarily to come and assist with the construction of the Health Community Center, knowing its purpose and its importance for the community. Visiting the market in Chichicastenango was an experience unto itself. For many on the trip, it was an eye-opening event and very different from the people and sights we'd encountered beforehand. The people were a lot more aggressive and in your face about making sales, and the area was very crowded. It is ironic to think about us bargaining because some people in our group got upset about not getting people to bargain items down lower, but it had never occurred to us to bargain with the women at the Women's Co-op. Interestingly enough, an observation I made was that even while trying to make the sale, if a vendor needed change or an item, he would ask his neighbor. Even in this overwhelming large scene, a community still existed among the people. One Guatemalan man said, "Americans live to work, others work to live." This is illustrated clearly in the Mayans' dedication to preserving and still practicing the prominent aspects of their culture. Work does not bear the same negative connotation as it tends to do in the United States. It is a part of what they do and who they are. When the woman at the Women's Co-op discussed their work, or when the man in Chichi showed us his wooden masks, or when the woman showed us how she dyes all of her threads in traditional and natural dyes, they were proud of their art and what they were doing. From a young age, the Mayan are brought up with this pride, duty, and loyalty to their family and community that translate into everything that they do. One unique and distinguishing characteristic of Guatemala has always been its people. From my personal experience, I have become familiar with the Mayan people's ways of living and appreciate where they are coming from, as they appreciate everything and every day that they have. Guatemala is a complex culture with a deep cultural heritage that has survived throughout the centuries, even in the face of economic, political, and social struggle. The cultural values continue to shape the people's way of life and continues to intrigue the world with its terrible beauty and resilient nature.